My nickname for the gate is the guillotine. Now, I call it the guillotine. We're not chopping anything. It doesn't drop. You know, it closes. It takes 22 minutes. I just call it that because it comes down out of 5 gates. It's the only one that comes down like that. Okay? So it doesn't chop anything off, right? When people reach for their necks, when I say guillotine, I'm like, hey man, that's 22 minutes. If your head gets chopped off at 22 minutes, you didn't want to be there anyway.
Hey amigos, today is Sunday, March 30th, 2025. The temperature right now is 74 degrees Fahrenheit, 23 degrees Celsius, and I am at the Riverwalk here in downtown San Antonio. I'm gonna walk over to the Alamo. I haven't done a video tour on the Alamo in quite some time, and I thought it would be a great idea to come and visit the Riverwalk as well. I didn't anticipate this weather to be so rainy today. But anytime you come to the Riverwalk, is always beautiful here. If you're new to the channel, my name is Jair, and if you don't know, I do virtual walking tours around San Antonio and other cities that I visit. So we are making our way down to the Riverwalk now. I think the majority of people that came down here today didn't anticipate this rainy weather. I know I didn't. We're making our way towards St. Mary Street. We're gonna actually go around the Riverwalk, and then we're gonna make our way over to the Alamo. Walking by a restaurant called Domingo. See a lot of people sitting out here enjoying their food here, enjoying their drinks, even in this shitty weather. Right here we've got one of the Go Rio San Antonio River cruises. Of course, these are the tour boats that take people all around the Riverwalk. They tell people about the history of the Riverwalk and the history of San Antonio here. Several sites where you can catch these boats.
Welcome aboard the Titanic Part 2.
The tour guide says it's sunny and beautiful. As you can see, that's not the case here. And this is the Salina Bridge. So this is the Salina Bridge. This is the bridge that was featured in the movie Selena, starring Jennifer Lopez. So Jennifer Lopez sits right there in the middle of that bridge during that famous movie scene. Even though that's not the official name of the bridge, that's what a lot of people know it as. And of course, we're walking by a lot of restaurants and bars here on the Riverwalk. Now, even though it is raining out here, there are quite a few people that are out here enjoying the springtime vibes. Now, one cool thing about the Riverwalk here is even though it is raining, the Riverwalk doesn't flood. So the Riverwalk is actually a flood control system. There's a series of 4 different gates, and there's a series of tunnels, drains, and canals that run parallel to the Riverwalk that prevent it from flooding. Oh, excuse me. And here is the Hard Rock Cafe here. Now, I mentioned the Selena Bridge just now. This Hard Rock Cafe was one of the last places that she performed at before she was killed back in 1995, 30 years ago today. They actually have a piece of the stage where she performed right inside this restaurant. And then if you go up to the front of the restaurant, they actually have a star dedicated to her. Right outside this building. Here's the Hyatt Regency Hotel over on our right-hand side here, or sorry, on our left-hand side. Now, there actually used to be an entrance to the Alamo going right behind this hotel here. However, because of all the construction that they've been doing on the Alamo, that entrance is now closed. But we'll see some of the construction going on around the Alamo once we get there. Used to be a lot more convenient to go through the hotel versus going through the street or through the Riverwalk here. But hopefully once that construction is done, they'll reopen that passageway for people. Got several businesses over here, several gift shops, several bars up there. There's the Coyote Ugly. That's Commerce Street right up there. Of course, this is the original Mexican restaurant. This is the Republic of Texas restaurant out here.
How y'all doing today?
Good, how are you?
And here we have a statue of Robert H. Hugman. So Robert Hugman, he is known as the founder of the Riverwalk. So he's the basically he's the brain behind this entire Riverwalk here in San Antonio. Without him, we wouldn't have this this canal or this waterway here. I'm walking by the Casa Rio Mexican restaurant. It's been here since 1946, almost since the Riverwalk opened. The Riverwalk originally opened in 1941. Got some people selling jewelry right here underneath the bridge. Another one of these river boats here on the left-hand side. So you have a lot of locals that don't really like to come to the Riverwalk. Me, on the other hand, I work downtown, so I come here every so often, and I do like it here, especially when there are not too many people walking around. But the majority of people seem to think that the Riverwalk only is for tourists. The Riverwalk, it's for tourists. But no, really, it is really nice to come down here every once in a while and take a stroll. And as I mentioned many times before, the Riverwalk actually is 15 miles long, so it does make a loop around the downtown area, which is about 2.2 miles through the city center. But if you go further south or further north, there are definitely some really cool neighborhoods there that you can check out. Definitely some more, I guess you can say some more calmer, chiller vibes down there, where there's not as many people and it's not as crowded. And it seems like the rain has let down a little bit, which is good. Because we're gonna make our way over to the Alamo just now. Here's the Briscoe Western Art Museum over on my right. And usually whenever I come here, the sculpture garden is closed. However, today it's open, so definitely want to check out the sculptures here before I head over to the Alamo. So again, this is the Briscoe Western Art Museum. Originally, this museum opened in 2013, and before that, this building actually used to be the San Antonio Public Library up until from 1965 to 2013. Or actually, before it was this museum, it was a circus museum for a little while as well. But if you're a fan of the Old West, or if you're a fan of Texas cowboy culture, Native American culture, this is a really cool museum to come and visit one day if you're in San Antonio. I don't know how much it costs to get into the museum, but if you're walking by here, this garden is absolutely free. So I love walking through here and checking out the Native American art here. This is cool here. This is called Water Through Time. Basically, this is showing you the history of San Antonio. So of course it starts with the Yanaguana people, the natives. You know, they lived along the San Antonio River banks. And then of course the Spaniards came later from the Canary Islands. And then we have the modern Riverwalk, which is what we're on today here. But let's head back down to the Riverwalk. And let's make our way over to the Alamo. Ooh, there are some more statues over here. I've never seen these before. Wow, really cool.
All right, so this is going to be our next quick pause.
Oh yeah, sorry. There's an actual tour group behind me. But you guys are getting the virtual tour of the Riverwalk here. Of course, you got some beautiful flowers planted right here. It is springtime after all. Excuse me, guys. Yeah, it's okay. Right across from here, we've got the, it's called La Villita, or the Little Village of San Antonio. It's a very old colonial neighborhood here in San Antonio. People don't actually live there, however. It's more of a, it's reserved more for historic purposes. Or as one of the tourists called it, La Villita, but it's pronounced La Villita in Spanish. So there is this is Rosita's Bridge right over here, not the Salina Bridge. We walked past that one already. And this is the amphitheater right over here. The Arneson River Theater is what it's called, actually. So they use this space here for different events like graduations, concerts. I believe they've also used it for weddings before in the past when I've come here. But here it is. This is Rosita's Bridge, dedicated to Rosita Fernandez. She was a local singer that helped build the bridge of understanding for many cultures that make the city a great place to live. Let's continue our virtual walk down the Riverwalk here. Hello, sir. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you, thank you. Let's make our way back to Commerce Street. Thank you. Guy said my my gimbal or whatever was cool. Most of the people that are down here on the Riverwalk are pretty chill, pretty friendly. The summertime is coming up pretty soon. You're gonna see tons of crowds of people here. Actually, a few weeks ago during spring break, there was also lots and lots of people walking around here. So I will say that if you do come down here during peak hours or when it gets crowded, it can be a little unpleasant to walk, but today seems pretty nice. Here's Dirty Nelly's Irish Pub, established in 1974. Let's take a look at these river boats really quickly. These people are getting ready to get off the boat and end their tour, and they're getting ready to start their tour over there. So the Riverwalk has some interesting history behind it. As I was mentioning, this is the idea of a man called Robert Double H. Hugman. But the reason that the Riverwalk exists here in San Antonio in the first place is because way back in 1921, the city of San Antonio actually flooded. You know, there were numerous people that were killed during those floods. So the city needed to come up with a way to prevent that from happening again. And behold, we have the Riverwalk here. Now this particular part of the Riverwalk that we're walking on here, this is called the Riverwalk Expansion Project. It was added in 1968 for the San Antonio World's Fair. So they added all these hotels here right around the late 1960s for that World's Fair, and they decided to connect the Riverwalk. They decided to connect the Riverwalk over to the hotels here. And of course, this also connects you to the shops at River Center, which is right over there. Excuse me. So I think what I'll do, you guys, is I think I will walk over to the Alamo, but instead of going around through Commerce Street here, I'm gonna actually make my way through the mall. So if you're ever in San Antonio and you're on the Riverwalk and you want to see the Alamo, I'm going to show you a shortcut to find the Alamo much quicker, especially in this kind of weather where it's raining or it might be too hot or too cold outside. Especially in the summertime here, it gets over 100 degrees. We're walking between Market and Commerce Street now. If you follow this path here, it'll take you over to the Hemisphere District or Tower Park. We've been there a few times. Here's a statue of Sitali, the stargazer. Fairly new addition to the Riverwalk here. She was added in 2022. And this large statue is made up of Mexican volcanic ash. There's a little bit of information about Sitali there. She was created by an artist named Pedro Reyes. Let's see if we can get a close-up view of Sitali here. And over there you've got the Tower of the Americas. Also built in 1968 for the World's Fair. Here's another place right here where you can catch the riverboat. So throughout the video, I'm sure you've seen there's a few places here where you can catch these riverboats. I know one of my friends has been wanting me to take one of those boats and do a video or do a live stream. I haven't had the chance to do it yet, but hopefully soon, maybe in the summertime, for sure. And of course, over on the left side here, you've got more restaurants here, mainly for the tourists. Mainly for tourists, what I mean by that is a lot of the same restaurants you would pretty much find in any other city where there's a lot of tourists nearby. But this is the Shops at River Center. So a shortcut that you could take to the Alamo is you could take Commerce Street and walk this way and enter the mall here. So we're gonna go up the escalator now and head over to we're gonna head over to Alamo Plaza. Oops. All right, so welcome to the Shops at River Center, everyone. Not gonna do a full walkthrough of the mall, of course, but again, just trying to show you guys how you can get to the Alamo from the Riverwalk without actually going through the streets above, or without having to go all the way around the Riverwalk again if you're ever in this area. Well, so here's another place where you can get you can get a trolley here, as well as buy tickets to several other attractions here in town. They have a sea life aquarium right over on the left-hand side over here, as well as a Lego store. Sorry, this is Legoland right here. And I know inside of here they actually have a miniature-sized San Antonio made up of Legos, which is really cool. Highly recommend checking that out. So we're almost out of the mall now, and we're headed towards Alamo Plaza. We have a Starbucks right over here on my right-hand side. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. This is Alamo Plaza. Oh, thank you. So they're setting up a stage here for something. So next week they're anticipating that the city's gonna have tons and tons of tourists visiting from all over because they have the NCAA Final Four coming up here. So that's probably what they're setting up. That's probably what they're setting up here for. Right over here we have a visitor center, as well as some historic buildings and gift shops on our left here. This is the Menger Hotel, Davy Crockett's Cabin, which is a gift shop. Here is a plaque tells you about the hotel here and how long it's been here. It opened in 1859. Now, the last time I was here, this entire area was under construction. Seems like they finished most of it here. So all of this here is brand new. This wasn't here before, or the last time that we were here visiting. I don't think they're fully done with all the construction around the Alamo just yet. But let's walk down Alamo Plaza a little bit and then make our way over to the Alamo. So if you haven't been here recently, this area has changed quite a bit. There are several buildings that are being demolished here to make way for the reconstruction of Alamo Plaza. I do like that this here is new though. This wasn't here before. This used to be a street. They closed it off to cars. Let's walk down, let's walk to the end of Alamo Plaza and come back. Of course, they have several gift shops along the Alamo here, or along Alamo Plaza, I should say. All right, let's walk back this way here. And there is the Alamo right over there. Here you have the Ripley's Wax Museum. I always found it a bit interesting how this is in front of the Alamo here. But a few years ago, they used to have a Tomb Raider 3D ride over there, as well as a Guinness Book of World Records Museum used to be right over there. Here's Ripley's Believe It or Not. Now there is the entrance that used to take you down to the Riverwalk from over here, but as you can see, it's closed now. Show you what that looks like. Hopefully at some point, again, they decide to reopen it. It would make walking from the Riverwalk over to the Alamo a little more convenient. And of course, all of the cannons and all the historical things that were here have been removed because of the construction. I'll show you guys a little bit of what they're doing at the Alamo here, and then we'll walk around the Alamo a bit more. There it is, you guys. The Alamo up close. Here's another new addition to Alamo Plaza. Now, if you've been here before, you remember that the cenotaph used to be, or is right over there, but the cenotaph is blocked off due to construction. See if we can walk through here. Looks like they have some replicas of cannons that were used during the Battle of the Alamo. And if I recall correctly, I think some of these were inside the Alamo, or in one of the museums inside the Alamo. Here's what the Alamo originally used to look like here. So we're somewhere right over here. somewhere over here in this direction. So there used to be a fort and there used to be walls all around the Alamo. And the plan with this construction is they want to recreate those walls. Here's a 3D version of the Alamo here. I don't want to do too much talking, guys, because, excuse me. I don't want to do too much talking, guys, because a lot of people come here to the Alamo and see this as a place of remembrance. Remember that a great battle took place here. And a lot of people just kind of come here just to enjoy the moment. So we'll walk through the Alamo and check out what's inside here. Now, contrary to popular belief, guys, there is no basement here at the Alamo. All right, guys, here's an entrance. We're on the, I believe this is the western side of the Alamo. And even this area looks quite different. I remember they had a lot of those cannons that we saw outside were actually lined up over here at one point. And there's an entrance to the chapel here at the Alamo. I believe you need a ticket to go inside. And the same applies if you're going to the Alamo Museum, which is right over there. There used to be a much smaller Alamo collection center right over here, but they recently moved into this newer building, which is over here. So if you want to see some cool artifacts and things that were used during the Battle of the Alamo, definitely recommend checking this place out. I believe it's about $14, $15 to come and visit the center here. So you do need a ticket. But yeah, this is the grounds of the Alamo right here. So this is behind the Alamo over there. And this is the, we're right next to the gift shop here. Let's kind of make a circle around here. Now they do have a musket show out here as well.
Yeah, I wonder why they, I mean, I get why they do.
So if you want to check out a live firing of what the muskets look like that they used during the Battle of the Alamo, I highly recommend checking out that musket show. It is free. I don't know what time they usually have the show at, but if you're lucky, you might come out here and you might see it. So here is the gift shop. And these are the six flags of the Six Nations that ruled over Texas. So of course you have the US, Texas, Mexico, the Confederacy, Spain, and France. And you have some statues here of people who fought at the Alamo. This is Hedrick Arnold. This is Emily Morgan here. She's known as the Yellow Rose of Texas. Now, fun fact, if you actually look over to your right-hand side here, this large hotel actually bears the name of Emily Morgan. Here's John William Smith here, known as El Colorado. Just once again. Here is William Travis. So fun fact, William Travis's remains are actually still here in San Antonio. They're not at the Alamo. They're actually at the San Fernando Cathedral, which is about half a mile away from here. Here's the barracks. So you can take a guided tour of the barracks and see what they used to look like.
That's at the French.
Oh, thank you.
Now this is cool. I hadn't seen this before. This is a Japanese monument. It says to the memory of the heroes of the Alamo. This was presented here in 1914. I had been to the Alamo before, but this is my first time actually seeing that. That's really cool. And we'll make our way back to Alamo Plaza. So as I was saying, the remains of William Travis, James Bowie, and Davy Crockett are still here in San Antonio, but they're entombed at the San Fernando Cathedral, which again is about half a mile away from here. And the Battle of the Alamo originally took place on February 23rd of 1836. It only lasted about 13 days. So believe it or not, you guys, the Alamo is actually the second most visited place here in San Antonio, and I believe in all of Texas. The Riverwalk is actually number one and has more visitors. But this is where I'm gonna go ahead and end my video, you guys. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care of yourselves and each other. And adios, goodbye, and au revoir.